Hello, folks, and welcome back. Once again, we are here with, well, I usually do this for update videos, but this is something that I feel is kind of important here. There was a game recently that was talked about in the news. You probably heard about it through Jim Sterling and bunch of other things. And that game is active shooter. Now, why am I talking about it? Well, for a couple of reasons. I mean, there's, well, two things. I don't agree that I really do not like the idea of that game existing at this time, but I could defend it. What I could not defend is the fact that the people doing this, it's shovelware. It's Russian shovelware. It's this garbage that people push out for trading cards, which they can sell and etc. And it is, the people who do this are just shit. I can't support them because of that. I mean, if it was done well, maybe. But the way it was being done was terrible. And the people supporting it are fucking idiots. I really can't understand how you could support this shit. I mean, seriously. It's just so... Okay. Couple of things. Jim Sterling is wrong. We should push boundaries in games. They really need to be pushed. I mean, he gave the example of Mortal Kombat, and, well, actually, I think that was the only game he really gave an example of. Because of that game, we were able to push the boundaries a bit more. We could have different things, or mature content in games. And because of that, we can kind of thank Mortal Kombat. I have a feeling that he'd be totally fucking against it. If it were like... If we had the climate back then, he'd probably be against Mortal Kombat. I'm fine with it. We need these boundaries pushed in order for better things to come out. Active shooter wasn't one of the good things that would help push boundaries. It just plain wasn't. It didn't introduce any... Oh my god, what the fuck? You know what, never mind. But we need those boundaries pushed. They had to be pushed in order for us to get something. Something better. Much like in comics, how boundaries were pushed there. If it wasn't pushed, then we wouldn't have anything serious. We wouldn't have... God. Well, Mortal Kombat can't be considered serious, but things like, say, Silent Hill or... God. I am drawing a blank. It is fucking early. That's probably it. This has just been stewing in my head for days, and... Bah. It's not quite coming out right. But the thing is, these boundaries do need to be pushed. I'm not so sure it needs to be pushed in this way. I mean, there's already plenty of games involving schools and so on. Like, I am not going to even mention the Columbine Massacre RPG Maker because that shit, I can't consider that a game. I really can't. And it isn't a game. In the strictest possible sense, it's a game, but honestly, to me, it's not a game. Now, active shooter, yeah, that can be considered a game, but it's shovelware. As I said before, it's shovelware. And there's more to it than this. There really is. Man. This is the worst possible time to be trying to make a video of this. But there was a reason. I haven't uploaded in a long time. And this has been just stewing in my head, and I need to let it out. Probably doesn't help that I'm doing this at 5 a.m. But, yeah, let me get on to my other point. I was trying to get people defending this game. I mean, there's a rational way to defend this game, but I did not see much of that. At least on the discussion forums there. Like, it will own the libs and so on. And we need this game. No, we do not need this game. We really do not need this game. Especially not by these people. Now, there is a reason why... Alright. There's a good reason why I just cannot support the idea of this shit. I mean, own the libs is the stupidest possible way to support something. Yes, you're owning the liberals that are against gun violence and I guess the old liberals that were against any form of violence in games and so on. But honestly, you're not really pissing them off. What you're pissing off is the liberals and the conservatives. And yeah, someone is going to mention Hillary Clinton. She's against games. Yes, so is Trump. Hell, you have to have the memory span of a fruit fly to forget that he was blaming games for all these mass shootings. I mean, the video where he had Call of Duty, Dead by Daylight, and blaming him for all this shit. Then the NRA also blaming games and Ritalin. You really cannot see that these people are on your side. They are not. They will chuck your form of entertainment under the goddamn bus. Like rap music or anything else. So you're not owning the libs. You're just owning yourself at this point. And, well, yeah, the topic of active shooters in schools is kind of a touchy one right now. And I think that's what that idiot was going for. He was going for that because it was a big problem here. I don't buy his bullshit thing where he says, I'm not aware of the shootings. I'm really not. I don't care if he's Russian. he had to have known what was already going on. I mean, even tangentially, he had to know what was going on. Just, why the fuck would you ever support the idea based solely on it'll own the libs? That is the stupidest argument you could possibly make. And I still don't understand some of these Trump supporters. Like, a lot of these people are like, they've listened to, support weed, they support free expression, and Trump isn't for any of that, man. I mean, look who he put as an attorney general. Jeff Sessions. He is just such... I think that someone put best and called him the drug-sniffing elf. And, yeah, at this time, weed is the worst possible thing to go after. A bunch of states are legalizing it. Thankfully, because it is a good idea. Because it was never a harmful drug. Then again, I'm getting off topic. I think I've blown whatever topic I was talking about. I mean, so many things. So many things. And 5 a.m. does not help. Unfortunately, this is the only hour I could really record or get around to recording. I just don't have much time at all. There's either kids carrying on outside, or it's really late, or I'm exhausted. Usually I'm exhausted and I don't have any time to make anything. So that's why I do that. That's why I'm making this now. Well, I think I've gotten some of my points across, maybe. Probably not. But, anyhow. That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. Active shooter. It was a dumb idea by a couple of Russian trolls. And while it could be good, the people it's coming from are no good. This is not going to help games in any way. It's not going to push forward another... There needs to be constant push for games to expand. We saw that with Mortal Kombat, we saw that with Postal, we saw that with a bunch of other games. And conservatives are not your friend. Neither are liberals at times, but that's a different story altogether. I mean, I do consider myself a liberal. I mean, I'm so far left that... Now, you know, I hate these right-left things. I just go by labels and whatever I have the most of, or whatever I agree most to, I'll use that. Because, quite frankly, it doesn't work for me. I like the idea of indigenous sovereignty, which I don't know if that's a liberal idea, to be quite honest, because liberals and conservatives also shit on that idea a lot. Or they'll say they support it and then sell mining rights to our sacred places to large companies to just destroy. That's just the duplicity of them. That's why I have a hard time saying I'm conservative, liberal, right, left, because they lie. And they will lie to gain the most brownie points. Also, why I don't trust the NRA. The NRA is willing to throw everything and everyone under the bus because it protects their guns, which makes sense because they don't represent NRA supporters or gun owners. They represent the manufacturers of guns. That's all they care about. They couldn't give a shit less about gun owners. At least, that's how it's seemed to me over the years. Especially like how they wouldn't help out various gun manufacturers when they were small, like Raven Arms, which I think is gone. You know, small gun manufacturers that just started up. They will not support them. They haven't supported them. They'll say they support them now, but history has shown us otherwise. They are just for the richest, most established gun businesses currently out there. And they want to sell guns, and gun accessories, and gun dresses, and various artwork for your guns, and etc., wherever the fuck they think that their customers will buy, because America, guns. And that's why you shouldn't support organizations like that, because they don't care about you. They really do not. I do support some organizations. I have no illusions that they do not give a shit. But they support things that I want. And that's why I support them. That's it. However, I am still wary. You have to be aware about this shit. Anyhow, I've rambled on for I don't know how long, and I am all over the damn road. I don't know if anything I said is coherent or not. Maybe you'll get an idea of what I'm saying. Hopefully it's gotten more coherent towards the end. I mean, well, anyhow. So long, stay beautiful, stay safe. And do not trust anything about conservatives or liberals or saying that it'll own the libs or whatever. Don't trust that bullshit. Because it is bullshit. Anyhow, so long.